once you become self-sufficient, independent, frugal, retire early lifestyle, all of a sudden there's a different aspect. There's a different aspect to how we view things and how choices are made. And it's based on, do I want to take money to accomplish this goal? There's so many things happening right now that it's very relevant. Embracing well, we're calling it retire early lifestyle, balanced lifestyle, prepper lifestyle, self-sufficient lifestyle. All of those come under the same umbrella. Liberty lifestyle, family-oriented lifestyle. Take your pick, whatever suits you. But there are some things that come to mind over our 3 decades of this lifestyle. Out of all those things I just mentioned, they're not the only motivators, as if those weren't enough, right? There are other pursuits. For example, in America, people seem to need a loftier reason, lofty, you know, for living a life of frugality, but not austerity or deprivation, which is a lot of times what you see in these circles. I'm veering off a little just to make a point. You know, I can see why a lot of people, I mean, frugality isn't directly shunned in America, but how it's done is by sometimes what you don't have to directly shun something, you just promote the opposite and exalt it. You exalt the opposite of frugality, which would be spendthrift, consumerism, and just debt-based lifestyles. And that's what's exalted when you see around. That's what, you know, is. But I think that times have changed, or are changing, and if you're in that category where you understand and you know, and some of you, it's you haven't had too much of a choice. If you can help it, you want to be ahead of the crowd. You don't want to be forced into something. And as we've been doing this for over 3 decades, we have a lot of insight to share, and we can certainly give good insight and direction to people. So let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Like, I was watching a video by a somewhat moderately well-known guy in the quote-unquote extreme early retirement. The fact that he has to has to be called extreme for in America, all over social media, the word extreme is starting to pop up more and more. 10 years ago, if you used the word extreme, people would shun you. You would be like, oh, you're on the fringes, you're on the, you know. Why? Just because you're frugal. And a lot of times I'm saying people from that era, 10 years ago, to nowadays 10 years is an era. People from that era had to use words to convey acknowledgement in one way or another. And even use words like extreme. But to say you want to be frugal just to be frugal has not been a super popular thing to do. But if you say you're going to be frugal because you're going to save up all these big huge amounts of money, or reach a financial goal, try to buy a house or something, that seems to resonate a lot more. And I can understand that, because if there's any reason to jumpstart a person's self-sufficiency and frugality, well, financial reasons and financial milestones and goals are certainly an excellent thing and an excellent reason to be doing it. But beyond that, there's also worldview, philosophical view, religious view, reasons also. That's what I wanted to say. For me, I was able to be more of a family man, and for example, some people want to spend more time volunteering and doing more some people would say altruistic kinds of things, whether it's evangelizing work or working with churches and this kind of thing, you know, just spending more time with your family and improving your health. Okay, so moving on, now that we've said all of the great reasons, voluntary or forced reasons, we run into this situation where all of a sudden we have time. And I think this is what happens when we step back and reorganize our lives. It's a totally different spot to be in, where you are able to have a choice in how your time is spent and how much of your time is spent pursuing finances or goals or a job or working for money. For example, a lot of people have read the book Your Money or Your Life. A lot of people haven't. But the idea in that was that the real cost of your working was when you added in all of the peripheral expenses in order for you to actually arrive to work and perform that work, which nowadays has changed thanks to the internet. The bottom line being that once you become self-sufficient, independent, self-sufficient, frugal, retire early lifestyle, all of a sudden there's a different aspect. There's a different aspect to how we view things and how choices are made. And it's based on, do I want to take money to accomplish this goal? It's like, I was listening to a guy, I was watching a video about a guy recently retired early a couple of years ago, and he said, you know, when I was working full time, I always hired everybody out and I hired everything out. But now I'm starting to learn how to do things. I watch videos on how to, I was going to replace my floor. I just decided to watch some videos and I did it myself. You know, I'm saying that we seem to have a perspective based on where we are at in life, and when we're still spending a lot of time on the 9 to 5, the perspective is very difficult to resonate with. That's why the do-it-yourself is not very popular. But as more and more people become more independent and get off of that, whether they're forced or voluntary, now we're saying, wait a minute, I'm not on that treadmill, and I know that I don't want to get back on that treadmill. So every time it's time to spend any kind of money, whether it's a sizable amount or even any amount, it's like we seem to understand the value, being that we have time. That's the combination there. It's like the sandwich that comes together. You know, it's like, well, I have time and I could sit here and spend time doing something I don't enjoy and paying big bucks for it, or I could learn a new skill. And learning a new skill is great. Anytime you learn something new, it's so satisfying and it feels good, and the sense of accomplishment of not just creating or fixing whatever it is that you did, but the fact that you were able to do it outside of the box, outside of typical ways, the money system, debt economy that's so prevalent. And so there's a satisfaction of knowing, I guess, a self-sufficiency kind of a thing where it gives you confidence. It's like my club bells that I make. It gives me confidence. I can have club bells anywhere, even if I'm in some city somewhere where they don't sell that stuff. The only way to get it is from Amazon. Maybe there isn't even an Amazon. Maybe they just cost an arm and a leg on Amazon plus shipping. You know, all these reasons. So I'm saying all that to say that there's definitely a different perspective that is gained. And that's why we always say that a person that is inclined to and is open to changing their life for all the initial stated reasons, the sooner they can start spending more time doing more things they haven't done before, gaining more skills, gaining more knowledge. And remember that when you know how to do those things, because before we just relied solely and 100% on the debt economy and the money economy, the debt money economy, I should say. When you start doing things and learning new things, you can also help your family, you can help your neighbors, and it's just a sense of satisfaction. I know that, like when I changed the plumbing on our house, I called this plumber once. I have friends that are plumbers, so this is no disrespect at all. But, you know, you call the plumber, you got a leak in the pipes, and he doesn't show up for 2 weeks. In the meantime, the pipes are leaking, and so your water bill, if you're younger and it's the first time it's happened, you don't realize when you get the water bill, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh yeah, right, the leak. And all you were doing is waiting on the plumber. So that right there is a reason to get under there and just fix your own pipes. It happened the first time, he didn't show up. But the second time it happened, I got smarter. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. He said he was backed up and booked up. I just went under there and figured it out and fixed the leak right away. When he showed up later, 2 weeks later, he's like, what happened? You had a leak? And I like, yeah, I fixed it. He's like, you called me, why did you fix it yourself? And I can't understand why I have to explain it to him, that I didn't feel like paying for 2 weeks worth of water leak while I was waiting on him, just to wait on him. So, so things sometimes jumpstart our do-it-yourself thing where we normally maybe we're just kind of loath to get interested in things like this. Like, I just can't stand that kind of work. Not interested. I'd rather pay somebody else. But then you get into this corner where you get cornered, you get squeezed, and it's like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go down. And it was real simple too. Just a little spot of the pipe. Boom. Just cut it off. Put in a new piece of PVC back then. That was before the PEX pipe. If you know anything about plumbing, I can do people's plumbing now. I can replace people's plumbing because I replaced my own and did a great job, and saved me $2,500 on the plumbing. So anyway, I hope I inspired you today to rethink your strategies to reinforce your own household. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for coming.